Also, it was reported that in 2018, last year, the U.S. engaged in more bombings than in any other time in the entire war on terror. Trump is committing more massacres than Bush and Obama combined. And you don't understand how massive of a feat that is. You don't understand what it would take for Trump to meet or surpass Obama's murder record. Obama is a mass murderer. And I hate that my grandma and my great aunties and the elders in my family have so much love and concern for this man, because I think that the media did its true job. Now, they're not going to listen to me. I've been crazy since I was born. These women changed my diapers. They're not going to listen to me. But if some of those trusted voices in the media would really just take the cameras to the war zone, like Dar Jamil did, and go there and show what they did. Maybe my grandmother wouldn't go into her Social Security and it'd send Obama $20 here, $50 there. I hate that my elders in my family, I really hate that they think that this is a good man. This man is a mass murderer. And if you want to try to say Obama ain't killed nobody, neither did Hitler. Hitler gave orders. And he sat in comfortable leather chairs in the chancellor's office and gave orders to everybody else. And guess what? By on white folks' laws, that makes you culpable. If I sit here and I tell someone go kill that person, then I am as equally, if not more, culpable. In fact, when there's a murder for hire, if they can get the murderer to turn over on the person who hired them, they routinely give the person who gave the order to kill more time than the person who did the killing. So the person who does the killing is not as guilty or culpable or responsible as the person who orders the killing. So by that definition, not mine, but by white folks' definition that they impose on us, they got black men locked up all over this country right now for life, triple, quadruple life for air quote conspiracy. They didn't even engage in the crime directly. They just simply gave the order, instruction, or the planned out the crime. So by all the white folks' judicial definitions, Obama is a mass murderer. Now, like I said, and I know what y'all like to do to excuse Obama. Y'all like to say, oh, so was every other president. You damn skippy. But for the first time in world history, and since black folks been in the United States, since the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, since the freaking signing of the U.S. Constitution, for the first time, black people as citizens, we supported the slaughter. We celebrated the slaughter. We embraced the mass murderer. If you look at black polling, if you look at black political history, black people have always been the most anti-war demographic in the United States. There was never a time where the majority, there was a higher percentage of black people supporting a U.S. war effort than there was white people. White people, the white voting public was always more pro-war, more pro-intervention, more pro-bring democracy to the monkeys than black people were, because black people, we understood that, you know, the officer friendly was a myth. And we understood since officer friendly, since the police aren't here to protect us, the military ain't going over there to protect nobody. But Obama, for the first time in U.S. history, when Obama said he wanted to go into Libya, black people said, I trust Obama, I support Obama's desire to go into Libya. When Obama said he wanted to put boots on the ground in Syria, more white people said, no, you shouldn't do this than black folks. And maybe white folks said, we don't trust the colored boy with the bomb. Maybe it was simply racism. They love the blood, but we want a good white man to draw the blood. In fact, history has thrown that out. They just didn't trust Obama. It wasn't that they were anti-war, they were anti-Obama. But whatever prevents people from being slaughtered on an industrial scale, I'll take it. So Obama not only went into office and was corrupt, he corrupted the black population. He made black people, for the first time in this country, the majority champions of imperialism and atrocities. But anyway, I was kind of hoping, even though I was mocking, saying, hey, now y'all let Obama go around the world and commit mass slaughter and didn't protest. The peace movement, remember the peace movement, the anti-war movement, the people who were challenging the validity of the war on terror under George W. Bush, they all went to bed when Obama was elected. They all disappeared and faded into the background. Well, they went and started the Occupy movement. And then I said, because I thought to myself, everybody hates Trump. Even the Republicans hate Trump. So when Trump goes up and continues and takes the baton from Obama, who took the baton from George W. Bush, I thought they're going to start the peace movement. All these people who protested the war under Bush, now there's a new Republican in, they're going to come back. And I was going to call out their hypocrisy when they came back. But I would have been happy if they came back. I was expecting a resurgence of the anti-war movement. I was expecting a resurgence of critical resistance to U.S. imperialism, because it's Trump, an imperialist you don't like. And where y'all haven't, y'all didn't come back. So not only did I not get to call out your hypocrisy, there's nobody giving any voice to the slaughter. There used to be like liberal radio programmers that every day when Bush was in office, they go on the air and list off the bombing rates. They go on the air and list all the U.S. soldiers, our boys that died overseas. That stopped under Obama, and it didn't come back under Trump. In Afghanistan alone, last year, Trump dropped 7,400 bombs on Afghanistan. That's 20 bombings a day from drones. Afghanistan is smaller than Texas. Can you imagine? Texas, and these aren't, firecrackers. These are ballistic missiles. He's going over a territory that not only is it smaller than Texas, its infrastructure dates back to the 17th or 16th century. They don't have a modern rail service. They don't have a modern sewage system. They don't have a highway system. Afghanistan is a 16th or 17th century infrastructure. Most of the people there are peasant farmers. Where the hell, what's left to bomb in Afghanistan? They are just literally finding people out herding goats, finding people trying to scrape the living off the side of a mountain, and they are just blowing them to paste. spending billions of dollars to drop money on a country that has one of the poorest countries on the face of the earth. 7,400 bombing raids on a country smaller than Texas. That's more than 20 bombing raids a day. That's just Afghanistan. That doesn't count Syria. That doesn't count Libya. That doesn't count the active war zone. And then the active war zones that you can go online and read in the corporate media, that doesn't even freaking count the clandestine wars and the proxy wars. The U.S. is one of the bloodiest, most murderous, bloodthirsty empires on the face of the earth, and we here mad because Cardi B got 2 Grammys. There's more outrage about Cardi B getting Grammys and J-Lo doing a Soul Train or whatever Motown tribute than there is about the mass slaughter being done in our name. You American descendants of slaves, you black people who hold U.S. citizenship, we are culpable too, along with the white folks. If we don't make our voices known, I don't know what's left for me to do. Everybody knows where I stand. The rest of y'all see a person, I just saw somebody, I ain't gonna say no names, online talking about, yeah, my son just joined the Navy. Oh, God. And you so proud of your son joining a genocidal, racist army, military. I have to tell you, I have to say, if either of my sons join the U.S. military, that's grounds for disownership. Let me tell you right now, Sekou Oromo, you are forbidden to join the U.S. Armed Forces. If that's nothing else, if you can do nothing else as a black person, even if the U.S. military did everything they claim they did, even if the U.S. military spread democracy, fought for freedom, protected us from terrorists, which the U.S. military does nothing that the commercials say it's do. An army of one and forge men into soldiers and warriors for protection of democracy. Even if that was true, black people shouldn't be in the military. Even the Black Panther Party was like, black men should be exempt. We don't owe this country nothing but an ass whooping. We ain't got reparations. So even if we had full citizenship, even if the country was a just, truly democratic country, we still should shun the military service. Our ancestors paid all any debt we could ever owe to this country. Our ancestors paid it 10 times over. In fact, the country owes us a debt, so we shouldn't be offering our blood, our young, able-bodied men and women up to the armed services. And that's all. And when I was working, that's probably why they didn't renew my contract. When I was working with the youth, and I'm teaching them urban agricultural skills, but every day I talk to them, don't go to the military. And I talked to a couple of young folks out of enlisting. And it wasn't hard. It was hard under Obama to talk young black people out of the military because they wanted to go fight for Obama's freedom and spread Obama's freedom across the world. But when I told them, your commander-in-chief will be Donald Trump if you go to the military, they were like, I ain't going to no military. Maybe after 4 years when he's out. So it got a little easier to talk black youth from joining the military. The U.S. military is the engine of omnicide. And omnicide means you kill everything. They don't just kill peasants. They don't just kill people. They destroy ecosystems for generations. To this day, let me tell you something. I don't even care if they rebuild Iraq to look like Dubai. Never go there. Iraq is a nuclear radioactive wasteland. From the chemical and bioweapons that were dumped during the First War and the Gulf War syndrome to the depleted uranium and the alpha particles that you can inhale, that are in the soil, that are in the water, that every time there's rains or there's some windstorm that they get stirred back up. And they don't even classify it as that. And then they're having young men and women enlist into the armed forces and go station them over there. Then they come back sick, even though they never saw any combat. Let me tell y'all something. It's really disgusting. And I'd like to know, I was playing games. That's what I get for playing games. My mama said, hey, don't play with people. I'm like, playing is fun. Why wouldn't I want to play? But let me tell you something. I really thought I would have me some good times. And right now, I could go up to people and be real slick and say, hey, I see you out here protesting Trump, but guess what Obama did? And I would use the resistance to Trump as an opportunity to highlight Obama's atrocities and highlight the hypocrisy of the peace movement. But I didn't get to do that because the peace movement is still dormant. People are as effective and willing to ignore Trump's atrocities as they are Obama's atrocities. This is utterly disgusting. And the same people that look at World War II history, the same people that look back and say, oh, how could they have done that? Oh, the concentration camps. Oh, what was wrong with people back then? You look back at slavery. Oh, look at they took babies from mothers. Oh, or you look back at the Jim Crow era. Oh, the lynchings, and thousands of people would show up to lynchings, and other people would just sit at home and do nothing. When you look at all the horrendous atrocities throughout history, if you want to know how all the so-called good people sat by and did nothing, look at your damn self, because now you're doing the same thing. And 2 to 3 generations from now, when they recount this history, when the body count is totaled up, when all of the environmental ecosystem damage is totaled up, when all of the radioactive red zones are lined out, people are going to be like, what were people doing? What was going on? How could people just let that happen? Let me tell you why. Because they were mad Cardi B got 2 Grammys and J-Lo did, a Chicken Dance to Motown song. And that's why. That's what they were focusing on. That's how. So back when our ancestors were being mass slaughtered, oh, the Native Americans, the Trail of Tears, and they killed hundreds of millions of natives. How could that happen? Where were the good people? They were right where you are right now. The Afghanis, the North Africans, Central Africans, the Congolese, the Haitians, the Venezuelans. They are the modern day slaves, Indians, Jews, all the people that you shed tears and pretend to give a damn about. All the people that you pretend that if you were around back then, if you were around during chattel slavery, if you were around during the German Holocaust, if you were around during the slaughter of the Native Americans, if you were around during the height of colonialism, the mass murder of the Herero tribe, during the Mau Mau rebellion and the British atrocities trying to suppress the Mau Mau uprising. If you were around back in those days, you would have been active. You would have said something. You would have stand up. To hell you would have. If you weren't an active participant in the slaughter, you would have sat by and let it happen. How do I know? Because you're allowing slaughters to happen under your nose right now. And you don't give a damn, as long as the right person you think is worthy of the Grammy. The award shows for pimps and hoes and every other hypocrite to show off their clothes. I don't give a damn. They can give Cardi B every Grammy. I don't know who gives a damn. Y'all already know these people can't season chicken. They don't have good taste. Who cares who they pick for what their awards? We got other issues. And I'm just frustrated that I see more people communicating and sharing stories about who they think was worthy or unworthy of a Grammy than I see about people literally being turned into paste. Palestine. The list goes on. Like I said, you set up a map of the world and you throw a dart. And you're going to hit on an atrocity. Even in the first world, the Indians are still being slaughtered. In the United States, they're still in concentration camps. They're not reservations. Like Dale Jones said, reservation is something you get at a hotel. That's a concentration camp. Native Americans, black people are still under genocidal oppression right here in the United States. Anywhere you throw a dart, even if it don't land on land, if you hit the dart and you hit the oceans, the oceanic dead zones, the dead coral reefs, you hit the North or South Pole, wherever you hit on the map, you're going to find an existential problem that is a direct product of Western imperialism, white folks. And yeah, they coerce us to participate. They went around the world and say, hey, we have this wonderful system called capitalism, and it's going to bring you democracy. It's wonderful.